Okay, Grand Rising. I am Empress Shaddai Bay, and this is the Morris News Network. If you like to follow us, you can join our group. You can find us on Telegram at the Morris News Network. Invite link provided in the description below. We speak on all the latest news, spiritual news, Mother Gaia news, share knowledge, provide products and services, preparedness information, and all of the info that you can speak about on any other social media platform due to content and free speech restrictions. So please come join us. Again, that invite link is provided in the description below. Also, if any of the information provided within this video, past videos, or our message at the Morris News Network resonates with you and you would like to support our mission, then please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube and our Rumble channel to get this information out there to people that may need what we are sharing in these critical times that we are living in today, and everything right now that we're sharing.
Yes.
You need to get out to other people. Before we start, I also would like to say join our shift group on Telegram as well. Okay. That link should be provided in the description, and any other links that we speak about, Empress Phoenix Star is going to give, so I can put that also into the description below, so you guys can be able to click and go directly to certain content that either she is sharing or has shared. I just wanted to say that first, okay? Next, I think the next karmic cleanse I'm going to do is January 31st. So for those that are interested in that, and if you're interested in nationality or the galactic training classes, please reach out to me at the Morse News Network at gmail.com. So let's get in to Empress Phoenix Star. Empress Phoenix Star,
Oh,
my
wow.
sister, how are you
Oh,
today?
sister. Man, I tell you, I'm fired up and pumped up. Just want to get the word out to everybody like you do, because right about now it's serious times.
Yes, it is.
Serious times.
Mm-hmm.
And we've spoke on it several times about having a community, forming communities. I even mentioned on the video I was looking for one, because I was taking that community course on learning how the best way to organize one. Um, a lot of times they call them mutual aid groups or mutual society groups, where you start off like it could be like a interest, like everybody that likes to build homes, or everyone that likes to cook, or it has to be something socialized. A lot of times when you start them, and they can convert over into like a survival group. It's where you acquire
Right.
like, land and everything. And that's how a lot of people form those. They just change the group according to what is needed.
Okay.
Um, you know, but right now I think I need to let everybody know why I'm talking about communities, and why Empress Sade has been expressing it. Guys, right now is the time. You are running out of time. And I'm going to show you how you're running out of time. Remember, we stated in every show, this earth, we keep looking at the map, we keep measuring what's happening. We've been measuring what the earthquakes were doing all along, all the volcanoes. We've been doing this since La Palma, okay? And we were talking about the shift in, because we were concerned about, the possible tsunami and all of that. I'm giving you a little back history for those of you that have, this is your first time looking at the video. I want to make sure you understand that we didn't just come up with this today. We've been talking about this for the whole entire time this show has been going on. If you go back to show one, we're talking about safe locations, places that we can go and be as safe as we can. There's no guarantees, but it's a safer place than being next to a volcano, or it's safer than being next to a fault line. These are the things that we're stressing in the show. And I'm going to probably sound a little different tonight because it's serious now. Okay, this is no, oh, let me go back to sleep for the rest of the week until the show come back on. No, this is something where this show needs to stay in your mind, embedded in your mind, and have you start thinking of, what can I do? If you get panicky, don't worry about it. Look at it like this: you're human. But sooner or later, that's going to have to subside, and you're going to have to start thinking and going, what do I need to do to protect myself for real? Or do I need to hurry up and join that group, the shift group on Telegram, and start talking to somebody? Okay. You can't just sit and listen to this. You have to take action. You have to be involved with your process. This is not a movie. And I say this is not a movie for the simple fact that, A lot of us have watched a lot of movies. We watched a lot of action movies. We watch a lot of scary movies and sci-fi movies, all these different movies. But what are we doing? What is the one thing that we're doing every time we're watching those movies? We're just sitting in a chair or sitting on a couch. We don't have to take action because everybody on the screen is taking the action. They're the ones that's physically doing something. They're participating with whatever it is you're watching. Well, we got to get out of the mindset that real life is like a movie that we could just sit there and watch it, everything just happen and we don't have to participate. We have to participate in this for our survival. Okay? For our survival. Now, this right here I'm going to show you a list. I'm just going to do one thing. I'm just going to put on here, and hopefully this doesn't get hung up, but if it does, just bear with me. I have two different lists up here on this. I have the list that has all the majority of the earthquakes, but it will show a volcano. And then also I have a list that shows nothing but the volcanoes. I have the option of putting 3 and higher magnitudes, 4 and higher, 5 or higher, and then each time it goes up, the list gets shorter. But I'd like for you to just take a few moments and look at the timing of these earthquakes. 33 minutes, 38 minutes, 41, 47, 57. It's kind of calmed down because if I had to show this to you earlier, a matter of fact, I'll give the link to Empress Shaddai where you can see it earlier. I actually did a video early this morning where you can actually look and see exactly how fast these were coming earlier, because tomorrow they're going to be coming fast like I was saying before. Something like this, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 11 minutes. Now what's about to happen? They're about to start coming anywhere from 1 to 3 minutes from each other. It's like a pattern. These right here are tremors. Once you start getting like above 2, it's considered an earthquake. But right now we're having so much activity that the timing, look at the timing. 11, 18, 32, 33, 35, 39, 42, 47, 48. Guys, this earth of ours that we're sitting on is unstable. It's unstable. It's too much activity going on at one time. I don't see anybody talking about it because everybody's mainly looking at the large earthquakes. I'm looking at everything. There's some people that are looking at everything, but they may not be paying attention to the time. The timing that we're having on these earthquakes and tremors all over the world is insane. And then if you look at some of the things that are happening, the actual earthquakes, let's say 3 and higher, they're all happening in the same areas. They're all in Haiti. Let me show you a perfect example. Look at Haiti right now. And that's just 24 hours. If I had it on for the last 3 days, this whole area would be just blood red because that's how many earthquakes we've been having. This earth is showing signs right now that the New Madrid could possibly be splitting over by Missouri. Look at this map. Look at all these red volcanoes. These are volcanoes that are erupting. That's not even showing all the ones on warning. All around the world, all these larger earthquakes are happening. These aren't these little small circles. These are bigger, larger earthquakes that are happening. Things are coming on. Which brings me to the topic of today. And look at this. 3.4, New Mexico, they're having things that are unconfirmed. They're like saying they're unconfirmed, like they don't know what they are. They're not telling you what this stuff is, guys. We don't know what this is. There's no such thing as an unconfirmed earthquake. It is an earthquake or it's not, or either you boom it, and I hate to use that word, unless there's explosions underground. And the one way to be able to tell, and I'm showing you this for a reason. Light shaking. Let's take a look and see if anybody said anything about an explosion. Thunder, shook the cabin. There it is. Every time I say this, somebody somewhere is saying that this is that word, that last word in this sentence. That's what's going on. There's something going on. I don't know what's going on under our earth. I don't know if it's the land. I don't know if it's man doing it or whatever is up down there, man, beast, alien, or what. No, it don't even really matter at this point. Whatever's down there, whatever is underground, something is happening to the earth. Now, no one can deny that. Look at this. Here's another one.
Mm-hmm.
This was not it.
Mm.
Okay. Sounded like thunder. Sound boom. I heard many sonic boom. Okay, that's probably a pilot. That's probably a pilot because over in this area is military. Okay, let's see. But the other person said that's what they thought it was. Look at this. This one said the same thing as the other person on. He said it
Mm.
wasn't a sonic boom, but it must have been some sort of boom because everybody else is saying it's a boom.
Okay.
In other words, he's negating that it wasn't up in the air. A sonic boom is up in the air. That's what a jet does. So it was whatever boom he heard, it was not in the air. It was something that was underground. So guys, I don't know if they're building a little city under there or what. I'm just gonna go there. Or what's happening. All I know is we've had too many unconfirmed. I was stationed right there. If that just said Alamogordo, New Mexico, that's where Holloman Air Force Base is. That's where I used to live. I used to live there. And not too far from there is White Sands Missile Range, where they do underground explosions anyway. Okay, so that's why the guy said that guy was probably a pilot. That's why he said it wasn't a sonic boom, but it was some sort of boom because apparently these people are hearing this. Guys, there's too many unexplained things happening in the world right now. You got volcanoes that are turning on. Right now, before I came on, and I'm going to give you the link so you can hear it for yourself. Right about now, Mount Rainier, Mount St. Helens are having earthquakes. Guys, that's the big beast volcano that everybody's so scared to go off. It's having earthquakes. It's been smoking for a while now. And then also, the thing about the oil fields that's over in Oklahoma, they're starting to have earthquakes in that area. It's like somebody needs to tell people, let's just not drive. Look, stop drilling for oil. Stop getting the steam off the volcanoes. Let the earth rest. Stop being a parasite where you got your teeth in it, constantly taking something out of it. Because right about now, there's earthquakes happening everywhere, and they're happening a little too fast. Okay, this brings me to the topic of this. Right about now, there are signs that the New Madrid is starting to split. And the reason why I'm saying this is because of all the activity, because everything is related to each other on the planet through plates, the plates that they're on. They call it tectonic plates. Well, the problem is with all this activity down here, and what people don't realize, when there's an earthquake in one part of the world, all the volcanoes, you can actually look at on a graph, all the volcanoes can actually, there's a reading there. And sometimes that volcano can react to what is going on somewhere else. Down in this area here, this land here is supposed to lift up towards the east. This land right here on this side of the states is supposed to lift up toward the west. That's how you're going to get the rip that's going to be here. That's how you're going to get the flooding that's here. And all of this has been predicted. What I'm showing you now, all of this has been predicted a very long time ago. I'm going to give you this man's, it's called Emergency Management Associates, Earthquakes, Volcanoes, and Other News. This person here, and Mary Greeley, has actually inspired me to do the things that I'm doing right now by sharing with you. I'm not an expert like they are, but I watch the earth just like they do. And I can tell if that has a red dot on it, that's an earthquake. And I can tell when they're increasing. I can tell based on the times and everything, that there's something going on. And even he's starting to say that those volcanoes are smoking. There's earthquakes by them. This right here has only been going on for 70 minutes. Emergency Management Associates, Thailand. You need to subscribe to this. Okay. He doesn't talk about pole shift, but he does talk about the earth. And that's what we need right now, is someone to talk about the earth. But let me pull up a chart for you. I'm gonna go to Google. This way you can pull it up too. Put Navy flood map. Go to images. There it is right there. Okay, they got it where you can't get to it. Let me see if I can get to it better. Let's see. Right there. This right here, I hope you guys can see this. This is what's predicted once this thing happens, once this splits. Prior to the pole shift, what's supposed to happen is there's going to be flooding. If this right here splits, this is going to flood, and parts of Texas and all down here is going to possibly be flooded. Okay. So when I talk about the New Madrid splitting, this is where the 1809 and 1811 earthquakes were that devastated the areas in these places. This is a historical place that has been predicted that it's going to actually split soon, or there's going to be a very horrible earthquake in this area. Well, once this happens, you may not be able to travel. You may not be able to go somewhere that you consider a safe location. This is a national disaster. This earthquake is supposed to be so strong that it's going to knock out a lot of bridges in this area. Now is the time to start getting serious. Are you going to stay where you're at? Or are you going to start forming a community? Because right about now, when I look at every morning, I'm waking up and I'm looking at these earthquakes, and look at all these reports. People are reporting this stuff. When I'm starting to see that these timing. Now, see, we've been on for a while timing. Now you can see what I've been seeing. Empress, look at this. 5,
Mm-hmm.
9, 13, 14, 15, 21, 28.
Mm-mm-mm.
And
Yeah, I see that.
as we sit here talking, dear,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna get you're gonna people are gonna see it goes in cycles, but it goes for a long period of time. We just saw it when it was kind of down. But this is what I've been watching for the last, it's going on like the 6th day now. My days run together because I'm up late at night, but it's between the 5th and the 6th day that this has been going on that I noticed, because it could have been going on before and I didn't notice it. But I do know that I've been looking at this for close to 6 days now. So, guys, right now, we need to talk. We need to talk about getting with like people. At least by tomorrow, you guys need to start talking to somebody. If you care about your life, where you live, and if you've been in any of those places that we've identified as unsafe, primarily you guys should be talking to somebody as far as doing something. Start getting together, get like minds together. Now, there's a lot of things that we're divided by in this world right about now. You have people that have taken the juice, and you have some that haven't. There seems to be a problem between people. It's a division that has happened between those two groups. So, for the safety of the people that have had it, you need to go talk to other people that have it just like you. For the people that don't have it, you need to go talk to people that are just like you. Because what's going to happen is eventually both sides are going to have different type of medical needs. Your bodies are completely different. So you have to figure out, okay, I need to get with some people that are just like me. You know, and everybody keeps safety is the biggest thing, then let that be your reason. You're looking out for the safety of the other person. So therefore, both groups need to split, and you need to just take care of yourselves and start looking for some land. Start looking at our videos. Come join the group. You want to talk about safe places? We'll talk about safe places. I get tired of posting anyway. Sometimes I just want to have a conversation with the people that are in there. And I do too. At times I do. You want me to paste something in chat? I'll paste it in chat. We just got some more earthquakes, guys. I'm gonna let these stay up while I'm talking so you can see how serious this is. Once you get your group together, one of the main things you need to figure out is, are you guys all on the same accord? Ask each person, what are they looking for? What do they want to come out of this as far as having a group? What can they see? Can they visualize being out in the wild? Now, you're not going to be able to look cute If you're out there in the out there in the wilderness, we're talking about moving to the wilderness. We're not talking about moving to a new house, because a lot of the homes are going to be destroyed during the pole shift. So you need to think these things out. Now, my recommendation to a lot of you, let's say you find a great location, you got your cars, your vehicles, your campers and everything. You need to seal everything you have and start digging and bury it so that it can stay safe. Because not too far after then, more than likely, that's when a lot of storms are going to start. Okay. It's no secret that there's another planet up in the sky that people have been looking at for the last few years. Now they're starting to finally talk about it on the news. So hopefully now more people believe it because the news told them it's there. That
Right.
planet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if the news is telling you it's there, now you can relax and stop calling everybody a conspiracy.
That's right. Now it's truth.
You got to understand, people have financial interests on why they don't tell you things. Why do you think half of you are sitting there right there living by a volcano and you didn't even know it was there?
Mm-hmm.
You have to do your research for yourself. If you hear something odd from somebody, don't call it, don't just say they're a conspiracy theorist and call them crazy, because you're showing your ignorance. You have to take responsibility for your knowledge. If you hear something strange, most of you got a phone, most of you have access to a computer, start researching or start looking up groups that talk about that. And the best way to learn something about something we don't know about is to join a group that's on that particular topic,
Mm-hmm.
because they're going to give you their research. And
That's
then you
right.
write Empress, and then
Mm-hmm.
you can counteract. You're supposed, the best thing to do is to counteract through research, not by mouth. If you have not taken the time to research something, you really have no right to talk about it. If you've spent a lot of hours and days researching, a lot of times that's when people will listen to you, because then they want to know what did you research? Where's your research? Someone taught me that decades ago, because I was like, oh, that don't make sense. If it don't make sense, then take ownership of your relationship, your knowledge, and go find out. Oh, I got that hard talk too. And it was the best thing they could have done for me because it broke me out of my stupor. You know, when it comes to all of this, look up New Madrid, Madrid, New Madrid earthquake. I'm giving you things. You're right here. You're listening to me while I'm talking right now. If this is really interesting to you, search it on Google while I'm talking. Search and see how those areas were devastated. And then search up the term New Madrid earthquake prediction or New Madrid rip or New Madrid splitting predictions. Or just put the word New Madrid prediction and all of that should all come up for you. This way you won't feel like I'm just talking, okay? And let's take a look at the earthquakes. Look like they're going pretty much like the same, huh? I want this to sink in, guys. This stuff is real. There are courses right now that you can actually take to go into, to start a community. And what I'll do is I'll give Empress Shaddai that particular link. I get nothing out of it. This gentleman goes through the fact that you need to start typing up bylaws, rules that you would actually want your whole entire group to live up to, and let them know that the reason for not adhering to those particular rules, that they can be voted out of the group. Okay, this is serious. At the Empress, what was the example you gave me about someone wilding out, like in a survival situation?
Yeah. Okay. So we were just talking about, number one, doing the shadow work. People are going to need that to
Yeah.
dig deep because most people have not dealt with their past baggage and all their emotional trauma. And, it's easier to not have to think about those things or pay attention because you guys are on the hamster wheel and have so much to do. And but when you get into an off-grid situation and you don't have the disturbance of um, the television and anything else of your daily life, and all that has changed, and all you have is you, and you're thinking to yourself, people have literally, pretty much went crazy. And you don't want that. So yeah, again, you guys have to even ask yourself, is this something that you really want to do, and why are you doing it?
Absolutely. And what I'll do as far as the shadow work, there was a real sweet lady that was giving us out information when I first joined Telegram, because I didn't know what shadow work was, and I didn't realize that I was doing it all along. While I'm unpacking boxes the last few days, I've been running across all my journals. I've always wrote what was happening to me in journals and what I needed to do, or what was the best way to do it, because I've always journaled. And a lot of people, I'm gonna tell you now, you're so ahead of a lot of people that's never started their shadow work. If you journal, you've been doing it anyway, but you need to find guided. And what I'll do is I'll drop a book, some information into Empress Sade's group on Telegram. As soon as we get off of here, I'm going to start dropping some shadow work things, and maybe we could pin it for them to Empress a little later after the video. It's been pinned for.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to go make sure that I put some information in there how you can actually start doing your shadow work. It is not easy, and since we're bringing this up, and since it's very important, I don't want anybody to walk away from here and saying, "What are they talking about?" Shadow work is when you're addressing, just like the Empress stated, you're addressing past hurt issues and traumas that you experienced. It could be decades ago, it could be years ago, it could have been just yesterday. And it's where you write out, the best thing to do is to write out everything you feel about that situation. And it might take some paper, and you probably will cry, like many of us have cried while we were doing our shadow work. And then once you get all of that out, you need to ask yourself, what is the best way for me to grow from this experience? Or how can I get past this experience? Or what was it about this experience that led up to it that I didn't know, didn't recognize, that maybe I should have recognized? Or what type of person do I need to be for this not to happen again? Or how, if there's something that was very traumatic, that very traumatic, how can I become healthy with this? Or how can I come to grips with this and then let it go? These are just some suggestions. These aren't the only questions. We'll be here all night long.
You got that right. And also, guys, for those that have went into the galactic training, we've been going over shadow work and some techniques and going deeper, because everything that Empress Phoenix Start just said is right. And there's a lot of useful and good information that you can find for free on the internet. But if anyone does want a little bit more guided information, we do that as well. And different techniques to deal with trauma in this lifetime, in your past lives, and
Yes,
also the trauma that your ancestors have
yes.
been through, because that's in your blood. That's in your blood. You experiencing what your ancestors have been through, and that they weren't able to fully overcome that baggage. And then that kind of goes along with you. That's why we always talk about generational curses and all of that stuff, because we know that a lot of that baggage goes along with you, and we're always trying to break that curse. Okay, so if you ever heard of that before, then you kind of know what it is. And part of that, the shadow work really helps with that. So we're definitely digging really, really deep on that. So if you just want further information, you can reach out on that as well.
Okay. Yeah, well, I'm gonna leave that topic alone because you have a course for that. So I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna
No, you
change.
came with good information. No, that's good.
No, I mean I was gonna keep going, but I'm not going to, because
Oh, okay.
out of respect, I'm not gonna say anything else. But guys, shadow work has allowed for me to stand more on my center. I'll tell you some of the benefits. I'm not as emotionally triggered, because I use some other things that I use, and a lot of those things I throw in the room. And Empress Sade has her techniques that she does and that she shares with people too in her group. But the thing is that there are a lot of tools out there to help us become healthier people. We all
Mm-hmm.
have, we all have been hurt. We all have been devastated. A lot of us have had a lot of traumatic childhood incidents happen to us, and we unfortunately we take those things out on the people that come into our lives that may genuinely love us,
Yes.
but we turn around and we destroy it because we're still striking back from that hurt and that pain that we felt, inside of us when something happened a long time ago, but it's still with us because it's still important to us. One of the techniques that a lot of people, there are a lot of techniques to do it. I think I mentioned it. I have mentioned this on the show before, but you have to find ways of releasing it, and there's multiple ways of once you've worked through that, you worked through the shadow work, you figured out how you need to address things. You sat there with your journal open and you cried. I mean, when you start crying over your shadow work, I want you to know something. You're doing it. You're doing the real work. You're doing the work. I mean, and look at that. 5 minutes ago, 8 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago. I think you guys are seeing what I'm saying about moving.
Mm-hmm.
All of this is important as far as your shadow work because you don't want to go into a group that's trying to be healthy and you have something toxic going on. And believe me, a lot of them may have it too. And who knows? You might be that one person in that survival situation that did a lot of shadow work. You may be the person that may be healing the rest of the people around you. You never know. God gives gifts to you. Creator gives gifts to you. Mother, Father, God, whichever creator, whatever you want to address that energy as, gives you gifts to be shared. And sometimes we get those gifts at a young age, and then all of a sudden, when we get older, we find ourselves giving that same gift to someone decades later. So this is a very, very important. This is a very spiritual time. Whether you believe in spirituality or not, that's not what I'm addressing. It is a spiritual time though, because this is a time that you're going to have to reach deep down within yourself. That
Mm-hmm.
image that you develop in society in 3D is not going to be the same image you have when you go out into the wilderness. I just want you to know that. So if you're a successful businessman or whatever your position is, let's just medically, it's not going to matter because you're going to have hiking boots on like everybody else.
I know
Now,
that's right.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
the thing is now what is your talent now out there? Can you contribute to a group? We have been brainwashed and also pretty much social engineered to become individuals. That wasn't the way our people naturally were, by the way. A group, a tribe, a clan. These are four groups of people that have a common goal or there's a commonality amongst them, whether they're
Mm-hmm.
from the same lineage, right? Right, Empress?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I completely agree. Keep going.
Okay. And so with that strength and that unity of having that relation, of course they bicker and fight, but don't you nobody on the outside better not come in.
You got that right.
Right? We,
Mm-hmm.
we can fight among ourselves, but don't you be trying.
Mm-hmm. Don't you come in. I heard that.
No, we gonna deal with you. And then we're gonna go back and fight with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Right about now, guys, this social engineering things, I want to give you some tips right now. We've been talking about music, and I'm not talking about older people. I mean younger people, young, way younger than me, are talking about music. Extension, I always say his name wrong. That trying to play the music at 432 hertz was trying to do you guys a favor. Do you realize that might be why he's not alive anymore or extracted, whichever has happened? He was trying to save you because the music that you listening to at 440 hertz is harming your body. It's rewiring your brain. I mean, Astro World should have been a big lesson for people. Frequency 808 was played, right?
Mm-hmm.
The world is the world. What was Tesla saying? The secrets, the keys to the universe is energy, vibrations, and frequencies. I used to play music. I used to sing music, but there's a lot of things I won't even listen to right now. because I realize what time it is. Your television is also giving you the same type of thing. And there's technologies in your television that you may want to research. I have to watch what I say, all props to you, YouTube. But the thing is that you guys really need to look at your surroundings right now because they're about to significantly change. They've already changed it right in front of you. When's the last time you went to the grocery store? Can you think of some more things that's changed, Empress? I do see a lot of empty malls. I mean, I see
Yep.
malls
Mm-hmm.
closing. Let's see,
That's true.
right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things that are closed. Your environment is changing. Now you can either sit back and wait to see how bad it gets, or you can start taking action and control of your destiny as far as where you would like for it to go. And like I said, communities right now is so important. I'm going to say this. It doesn't matter what group you took an oath with or pledged with. Some of that is going to be so 3D-ish. It's not going to matter. You're going to be worried about survival. And some of those people that you used to be around may not be around you. You may find yourself by yourself. You may find yourself with other people. We can't all be in charge of the group. People have to understand their place. There has to be some sort of order. There need to be bylaws, rules, as far as how that whole group is going to function. This is going to be about survival. And I guarantee you, most of the things that a lot of people feel they belong to as far as a group, they need to see who handed it to them, who gave it to them to even be that. Go back into history. Has to be true unity now. All this 3D conniving and planning and sabotaging people and all this stuff, that's going to go to the wayside because Empress, can I be blunt?
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
In a survival situation, people like that end up missing.
Yeah.
People that are conniving, self-centered, egotistical do not last very long in a survival situation. Yes, you need ego to stay alive. You need more of the ego in a sense. But when it comes to the cost of other people around you, you're not going to last. If you feel like you always have to be in charge, that you know better than everybody else, that's not the type of demeanor that a survival group can function around. This is a life or death situation. We don't need the same thing that are putting us in misery today out in a survival situation. The same things that we are seeing in the world today, that mentality, the gaslighting, the unempatheticness of things, that kind of things won't survive because out in a survival scenario, it's all for one, it's all for one, one for all. Reason why I say that is because you may need about 5 or 6 people on post to do security around your survival situation. You can't afford for all those people to have an attitude against each other, otherwise nobody will be protected. And if you have the wrong type of mentality out there, if they just standing out there and they're like, oh, they got shot, it ain't me, they're stupid too, because it takes a number of people for security in a survival situation, not just 1 or 2. It takes as many as you can get because you're going to have to be able to protect the perimeter of where you're at. This is what I meant by people have to look out for other people. There's gonna be people growing food. There should be people that are washing clothes, sewing, helping other people, bartering with services, things like that. There's going to be people gardening, gathering food, gathering water. This is the realistic view of what we're referring to about forming a community. It's not a community in a building. It's a community that actually gets land, eventually build buildings, and start over again because what we see today may not be here in the next few years. and we're going to have to take control, right? Right, Empress? And
Yes. Mm-hmm.
yeah, we got to take control and build the communities that we want, guys. We're going to have to do that. We used to be that way anyway, but when I was growing up, we were all together. When I was growing up, the whole neighborhood took care of you. You couldn't walk down the street without somebody offering you food, and they weren't there to poison you either, or to rape you, or to do something horrible to you. That was unheard of in our communities when I grew up. We got to get back to that. I tell you what, if you cannot treat your brother and sister right, I have one question for you. Why do you hate yourself?
That's right.
It has nothing to do with the people on the outside of you. It has something to do with what's inside of you.
That's right. Because they are a reflection of you.
Absolutely. Anything you want to say, Empress? Because I could say more about the community thing, but
No, I mean you said a lot right there. I mean, the only thing that I would add is about when you were talking about our tribes and clans and unity. I was just going to say because we kind of talked about this earlier, so I don't want to forget. But that when it comes to other dimensions, higher dimensions, they work as one. They identify themselves as one. They work as teams, as units, and will call themselves under that team or unit as one. Okay, so
right.
yeah, because we're trying to get back to the divine creator and to come back to that oneness. And you have to recognize that we are one instead of so focused on the individuality, that which is an illusion, just like Empress was trying to say earlier. Well, I'm not going to say trying to say, she said what she said. Whether you guys were listening or not, that's a different story. But if you were listening to her, that's what she was saying earlier about about the individuality. So I just want to be clear that um, getting back to God is getting back to the oneness, which goes back to the unity and goes back to community. Exactly what we're talking about. And that's all I had to say.
Exactly. No, exactly what you said. And we had mentioned what was that? Ubuntu.
There you go.
That
Mm-hmm.
that was an African, that's the African philosophy, guys. And the philosophy, what that means is I am because we are. And that means we are one. There's a cute little video. I'll have to find it about Ubuntu. Ubuntu, and it's these little kids. This guy was doing a documentary of these kids, and what they did, they were hungry, and they gave one kid something to eat. That one kid shared everything he had with everybody else because he refused to eat. He would not eat unless he was able to give the other kids food too. That's how we were before we were corrupted, before we were hacked. I'll put it that way. That's a more up to date terminology. We've been hacked. And so what we have to do is run a virus cleaner on ourselves to get back to where we were. The way we can be an optimum operation, we be able to operate optimally, because we're tainted right now.
Yeah.
That's where the shadow work comes in. That's where you're running a virus scanner and cleaner when you do your shadow work. That's basically what you're doing. You know, and for those in the music, you're just making sure everything's in tune. You know, there's everybody has their own way of communicating, and I just want to make sure that I state more than one way, so people will understand that we are in a situation right now that, based on your capability of being able to to be able to be cohesive with other people, is going to determine your success. And for those that can do it, your discernment on those that can't is going to be very important. Right now, this is the age of detachment. We people are finding themselves detaching from things, people, jobs, everything right now because of certain things that you just will not deal with or don't want to do like the other person is doing. This is the time of detachment. This is also the time of discernment, to be able to determine what am I really seeing and be able to analyze things and come up to a sound decision on what you feel your reality is with things. This is also a time of ascension where we're trying to, not trying, we are moving, a lot of us are moving toward perfecting ourselves spiritually and to become more whole, where we can become part of the one. Um, Technology wise, they keep talking about singularity. But if you notice, there's always a parallel reality. There's a synthetic reality, and then there's a natural, organic reality. Organically, we're supposed to be able to communicate like we do on this internet without even saying words. No matter where you are, I should be able to talk to you. Whether you're in Africa or wherever, I should be able to actually, telepathy wise, be able to talk to you. Technology has stunted that because out of our conveniences to technology, we didn't exercise the things that was going to come to us naturally. With that being said, we will get to that point once we're out in the wilderness and nature. Somebody could be clear across the camp. You might be thinking about that person and they might walk up. All those things that were supposed to happen are going to happen. Nothing will stop them because what's part of nature is nature and it shall be. The only thing is that we have to get in nature to actually start it up. Anything you want to add, Nim?
No, you're right. We definitely have to get in nature. And you know something, for those that really want to go back to nature and be a part of it and start to connect with it and listen to it. You know, we're going to be told things. The plants are going to talk to us. Okay. Um, just the animals will talk to. We're going to know what to do. We're going to have that connection. That is, we say we lost, but it's just laying dormant, like how some of these volcanoes are. But just like those volcanoes can go off, and like how they're doing at any moment, your abilities will come right back online. It'll come right back online. You just gotta go out there though. You have to go out there first. So
Absolutely. One other thing I want to mention too about the community, start looking at videos on building, like woodwork, jewelry, singing, because that's morale right there. You got to have some sort of morale. Um, Sewing. I hope I didn't say that already. Um, we're going to need people that can actually design things. Artists have a very big part in a survival community. They have that ability to have the visions of creativity and can express it on paper, and then can actually sell it to the group, and then if, let's say, someone in construction can look at that. Now they in their mind know how to visualize building it, because the same person that designed things may not be the same person that builds it. As you can see in real life, it's not even like that. So you artists that are out there, you guys are very needed in a community, survival community. I know a lot of you, that was something that was addressed in the course that I saw, but and a guy was like, I didn't know where I fit. It was one of the commercial, like, things, not commercials, but it was like an interview. He said, I didn't know where I fit as an artist. And I actually realized I actually have somewhere to fit in a survival. Yes, you do. You guys are the visionaries. Okay. So please don't think that because you're talented with pen and paper that you're not important out in an environment like that. Just make sure you have some pen and paper or figure out a way to write. Yeah,
mhm.
and I'm sure you can, because you're right. You're most of you are very right-minded and very, oh, this is so dynamic with your ideals and how you think out of the box. You people are going to need that's energy that you have. Those of you that are in construction, you would be able to see what this artist has actually drawn, and so you would be the type to go, okay, in your mind, you can see how each piece will be actually built. what it would take, what shape it needs to be, what size, dimensions, all of that you will be able to look at in a drawing. Your mind will start to go. Okay. And then you have the other people that would be there to help paint, to help, figure out the other things. I would also recommend, if we're going to be short on certain types of supplies, those of you that are into woodwork and construction know what I mean when I say joiners. We need to figure out how to join wood without nails. If we don't have it, there are ways. And so we would need you guys help, because you can actually build furniture without nails. You can, the way you join it, some people, you end up using glue or different things like that. But start looking at the natural glues are that are in nature that you can use, because there's certain things in nature that we have to get back to, that we've forgotten, that will help us at these times. Women that cook, you already know the deal. A lot of you guys know how to forage anyway. Depending on where you're from, you know how to throw something in a pot and make it taste good. And you're definitely going to be needed. There's going to be a great demand for you. And for those that like things like pottery, making jewelry, and all those different things, those are morale things that people are going to need. You might design something that is meant for the group, that represents the group, a necklace or pendant or something, which would be a beautiful thing, because it shows what tribe you are. That's the tribe you are. You're part of that particular group of people. There's just so many creative things in a community that we can do. We're going to need our braiders, the women that know how to braid hair. I mean, we're not. I mean, a lot of us don't do perms anymore, but we're going back to nature. We're going back to el natural. So we're going to need those women, those sisters that know how to move those fingers and braid.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's going to be needed out there. All of you that lost your jobs for in the medical field, you got all these doula. I've been posting doula training and doula videos all in the group all last night, because someone had asked me a question about it. And so I learned things even about a doula. Doulas are not just for babies. Okay, they have the birthing doula, they have the postpartum doula, they have a doula for death. They have a doula for if a woman loses a baby. They have a doula for if a woman has an abortion. They have doulas for all kinds of stuff. I mean, and the doulas, and just so people, if you don't know what those are, these are people, and from what I'm seeing, I have not seen not one doula online that was not spiritual. They're very spiritual healer type people. They educate the mother on everything about what her body's experiencing. The one,
Mm-hmm.
she explains, everything as far as how the baby will be when the baby's born. Anything that mother is going through, she's there to support her emotionally, because her body's going through all these changes and she's scared. And the doula just comes in and just with her healing heart, she nurtures her and helps her get through it. Just
Mm-hmm.
like for a death doula. Death doula would be the type that would make sure that person's comfortable, and make sure that they're, that they're at the most positive that they can be, and just there for them to nurture them. For women that lose babies, that doula does the same thing. She's there to comfort that person. I found out that women that lose babies and the doulas, they actually will go as far as to bring food to that woman's house to make sure she's eating, to make sure that she hasn't just stopped in her tracks, that she
Right.
on. So we need and the way I'm talking, you can tell I'm talking totally different now. My heart is into what I'm talking about. We need these healers, and Empress Shaddai, look at all the things that she knows how to do, anything from Reiki to courses and stuff like that. You're going to need those types of things. I don't even want to talk about myself. There's things I can do, but what I do is not important. But I'm just saying it is important, but I'll use it whenever I need to use it. But the
Mm-hmm.
but the thing is that we all have talents that we can share with each other. So please don't feel that there's no way that you can be out in the community in nature. Another thing, if you're one of those people that don't have money and you're amongst people that say they want to start a community, and they're talking about, well, you got to have this, that this amount to start it because we want to buy the land. But this is also a message to those of you that over communities. You need to screen that person and find out if that person has a talent that that group can use. Because that might be the one person you do pull in that will be very loyal to you and appreciative, more so than someone that gave money sometimes. Find out what people's talents are. Find out if that person has a talent that they will commit to being that particular role in that group. Say that person knows is an excellent gardener. I mean, they got plants at their house, they got them in the yard, they got them everywhere. It would be foolish not to take that person with your group. Work it out, figure it out, figure it out. That's if that person can be screened. I'm not saying you have to, but I'm just saying if you got a group of people that can't grow anything and you got one person that don't have the funds to help out and they can, I think a decision needs to be made. Maybe a
Mm-hmm.
vote or something needs to be made. You're not just looking at as far as if you got the money, you get on land. You need to think in a little bit in the future and go, okay, what do we need in this group? Is it here? Because that one person may know other people that are just like them. So you don't want to cut, So this is going to take a lot of thinking, a lot of talking, and effective communication. All that ego 3D stuff needs to go out the window. All the vultures that think that they're going to business wise get all over on people, y'all need to sit down because your butt's going to be out there in the wilderness too. And you know what? People aren't going to forget what you did. Even if you get out there, they're not going to forget. So this is one of those times that people really have to be down to earth. Start figuring out ways to get your heart chakra to work. I'm not going to say that you have to become a meditate and all of that. You find your method. You go research to find out what works for you. But we're going to need people with talents, and I just want everybody to know that what you think isn't a talent, it may just be a talent for out in the wilderness, especially when it comes to an artist. Anything you'd like to add, Empress?
Yeah, I would just like to say it. Yeah, definitely, it doesn't matter what your talent is. You're right. You're correct. Everything is going to be needed. So I'm glad that you did share that information, because people, I'm sure they're not grasping because they're looking at all of the what they feel is major. So then they'll set aside what they do and say, oh, this is minor. This is like it's nothing that they
Right.
do. And all of that experience is going to be needed to bring to the table to do whatever, even if, because you mentioned like the businessman, you're going to come back and be with the hiking boots. That means we're going to be on even playing field again. Everyone's going to be on an even playing field. It's not any of that hierarchy where people feel like they're above and superior than others. Everybody's going to start all over, but the knowledge that you have from wherever you were doing can be used in the new setting, just in a new way. Again, we don't want to do anything that wasn't working in the old system and
Exactly.
bring it to the new system. Yeah, because remember we talked about that, so I'm glad I remembered that. But yeah, you want to do whatever that you thought was broken, we can fix, and whatever that was broken in the old system, we can fix and create it. That's going to be new, and it's about again community and the unity from us being with each other. That was
Mhm,
it.
mhm.
You can go from there,
Okay.
Empress.
Well, I think I covered the main things. The main thing is getting together, find out what's common with each other. Um, I'm very serious about the juice and non-juice. Make sure that you work that situation out. Um, Also, please be careful of throwing your religious belief on other people during this time. That's not a good sign, because you have, well, I mean, all nationalities have different religions. I mean, You know, in the Black community, you could be a Moor, you could be a Muslim, you could be a Catholic, you could be Protestant, you can, you know, you can be a whole bunch of different. I mean, there's so many. You can be a Buddhist. I mean, you can be a whole bunch of different things, and some sort of way, the energy between those people need to get past that, and not dictate what someone else should do based on what their personal beliefs are. I think this, because when people lose power, they try to find grasp onto something to have a power that's not them directly, but indirectly. And a lot of times that's called religion. And so you guys got, people have to be very careful that you're just dealing with the person in front of you. I mean, if their belief is different than yours, if their heart is pure and they're treating you right, what is the problem? What's the problem? You know,
Mm-hmm.
so you know, some of that is so you have to ask, people have to ask themselves, and Empress and I were just talking about, she made a comment about no, I mean, when we were talking earlier about, we may feel something against, so about against someone else, but it's actually us. So if like jealousy is one of the main things that people real, a 5.2 in Fiji, Empress.
Okay.
People need to realize that when you feel jealousy towards someone else, it's not the other person, it's you. There's something in that person that you feel that you're lacking, and it turns into an insecurity, and immediately that is a shadow work topic. That's something that needs to be addressed right away with yourself, not the other person. You may want to go like, why do I feel that way? Why do I feel incomplete in this particular situation at this time? Why do I feel incomplete? Oh, you felt you should have said it first. What, who's keeping score? Is the other person keeping score or just you? Why am I
Hmm.
why am I keeping score? Why am I working from a point of lack? You're gonna find that a lot of your shadow work stuff is, why am I operating from a point of lack?
Mm-hmm.
And it's been inbred in us because the generations we have had different sorts of lack that were imposed on us. So we have to, that is one of the biggest things in shadow work that I've seen with myself, that a lot of the problems that I had was because of my own attitude. I was actually operating from a form of lack, or I didn't know what it was at the time, but later on looked back and said, that was a form of lack. I have abundance. Why am I going down that route? And this is when we talk about being on your center point, middle point, what we mean by that is not being extremely emotional about something and not being totally logical, like right in the very center, where you're just the observer. You cannot observe anything from the left or the right. You can only truly give a true assessment of anything in life if you stand in the middle. That way you can see it for what it is, without making an emotional judgment and not being too left-minded to where you're being unempathetic. So you have to a lot of times it's better you do what you want. I'm not telling you what you do, but I'm just saying from experience and from a lot of things I research, if you stand in the center point of things, you make a better decision of things. So when you feel that you're jealous of someone, get on your center point immediately and start asking those questions. What am I lacking? Why do I feel I'm lacking? And you're going to find that you're probably going to go to some scenario when you were in childhood. It's going to take you all the way back to something that happened in childhood. It
That's
may
right.
not happen. It may not happen right then at that moment, right, Empress? But you
Mm-hmm.
next morning and go, "Oh my God," you know. So that's why shadow work is never really done at times completely. I've known some people that said they've done it for decades and they said they're still not done because something can pop up, they can get caught off guard, or something they thought they resolved something and it pops back up, and that happens. I'm not perfect. I'm always doing shadow work. If I notice that I have some sort of insecurity, I instantly go, why do I feel that way? That person didn't do anything. And even if they did, why would that make me feel bad inside? Then I would see their insecurity. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So why, if you're in a situation and someone just goes off the cuff over something really small, you have to ask yourself a question. Am I going to do like I used to do when I was a child and do this particular thing? Or am I just going to sit here on my center point and watch this person with no emotions and just look at this person and go, what am I seeing? They could still be talking and yelling. And while they're talking and yelling, I could be going, okay, why are they yelling like that? What's driving them to be this way? What is it does it appear that they need to work on? Because apparently there's a short circuit here. I've had to actually get that way. I can actually look at a person that's going off that's mad at me, and I'm just looking at them like asking, the whole time I'm looking at them, I'm asking questions to myself about why they're reacting the way they are. We have to get to that point because we're going to be dealing with so many different age groups. And I'm not going to say that someone young is immature, because I've met some very mature young people, a lot more mature than some of the older people I know. And some of us older people are very wise. I'm not taking anything from anybody. I'm giving balance. Are wise, and sometimes the younger people may want to listen, because some of us, and you can't blame a younger person for not wanting to listen to an older person, because we don't know what they've seen. You may be totally different than the people that they saw that were older that let them down, but they don't know that. They don't know, may not know what you have to offer them. And you may have something really truthful to offer them. And in that case, all you can do is just sit back and wait, see a few things, sit back and wait. And I've seen, and it's happened to me in my lifetime, as when I was a younger person, that I ended up looking up to that person that silently didn't just bombard and tell me everything I needed to do, but they just said, I'm glad we can finally talk now. Sometimes it takes time to get to know people, and to really discern, exactly what they're from. But I'm talking about these life dynamics with you, because these are the types of things that's going to pop up in a survival situation. They pop up with you every day now, but I think it's more intensified once you're no longer under the system. Part of you wants to grab on and gravitate toward the system, and it doesn't exist anymore. And actually, I think over time people will feel more liberated, because they don't have to use that facade that we have to do in the 3D dimension, in our everyday lives. Some of the things you do every day, if you didn't have to do it, you would probably feel a lot better, and you'd probably be a better person. Anything you want to add, Empress?
No, I think you pretty much said it on that note. At least for the topic that you're talking about. One thing I probably would add that is literally just about everything that it has been going on about paying attention, and today this not being about, again, fear mongering again, because I always got to keep saying it. We went through a lot of stuff earlier that you were stating about what is going on in the world, and you guys are seeing it in real time. You've been seeing all this stuff in real time. So she's showing you, the earthquakes and different things like that happening. And normally I kind of say something about this in the beginning of the show to battle that fear mongering, and I didn't do that. So I'm just taking the time to say it now again, because I don't know, it might be someone new that's looking at the show that didn't hear us say it previously, about being aware and prepare, and leaving all your fear right there on the table. Just leave it alone, walk away, and focus on making taking action, making moves. Okay. So you won't be reacting to things because you've already took action. So this is kind of the, the whole concept, the reason why even the shift was created, the reason why Empress Phoenix Star is doing all the research and giving you guys all this information is trying to get everybody to be proactive and not reactive, and just take action, and just stop. Please stop with the whole fear
Please,
programming.
because you won't last in survival situation. I'm going to say that. I'm going to say that you will in a survival situation. People are going to need you to probably do things. There might be urgencies and stuff. Our feelings can't get kicked into that, and I think a lot of this feeling of fear will probably disappear anyway once you get out in nature. You'll be more in a natural setting. The earth will be able to give you energy that you need to not have fear. You probably will be more relaxed than you ever had been if we could just get away from all these wires and electricity and lights and everything that we have around us. What we have around us is not natural. Yes, we became accustomed to it because throughout our generations we've been exposed to it, through our different lineage. But if you go further back in your lineage, they didn't have all this stuff. And they didn't talk about fear. They talked about bravery. Hey, what we gonna do? You know, there was a more of a strength in us. But through the things that are in our food, from the things that is in the air, who knows, from the things that we watch on television or in movies, some of this stuff we have to understand is not coming from us per se, but is something that we've been exposed to, and we've taken it in and digested it as our truth. And I don't think we really got to know our true truth until we go back to nature, because that's where we're from. We're not from technology, we're from nature. And
That's right.
nature nurtures us. And I'm not fear mongering, but as you just saw, we just got like what, 3 earthquakes all at once, 4 now, found 8. Oh wow, okay. So, like this goes back to what I was saying in the beginning, guys. I left the screen up here so you can see what I'm watching. The world is the Earth is like a female. She is a female. She's communicating with us in an indirect way, the way females communicate. She's talking to us. She's talking to her children right now. My children in nature, are you listening? She's asking you that. She's asking, are you listening to her? And most people do realize it too. The feminine energy is what's present now in the world, and the earth is talking. So what we need to do is we need to listen to her or figure out what it is she's saying, because right now we in a sense kind of know that she wants to make changes on the surface of this planet. Some sort of way the infinite creator has actually told us that there, through other people, that there are some safer places that you can go to. And then Earth is like saying, look, I'm about to blow, I'm about to have that baby. This is like a woman having contractions. She's about to give birth to something, to a new Earth, to a new way of the Earth looking. It's going to look differently once she has this baby. So we need to figure out, are we going to be responsible and get to the places so we can still continue to be here with her and to continue to have the beautiful gifts that she gives us? Or are we just going to just say, I'll just stay where I'm at and whatever happens, happens? The decision is up to you. And those of you that do know how to organize people, you're needed right now. You're needed to get the groups together, get the information to them. Those of you that are in the civil engineering, because you guys know just about as much as I do, or you can find out more information than I can about the planet because you work in civil engineering. Start finding out different layouts of the land. You, before you guys can drill, build, or do anything, you always have to know where the volcanoes are. If anybody should know where the volcanoes are, is you as a civil engineer, not just a geologist. And I know a very bright civil engineer. He kind of hinted me on to that. He knew where the earthquakes were just like I did. And I admire his intelligence. So I'm just saying, you guys have talents that are needed right now. And I just want to say, if you're hearing this video and this is resonating with you, I feel like I've done what I was supposed to do. Even if it's not resonating with you, I know either way I'm going to feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. But I feel it even stronger for those that understand right now that there's a situation that needs to be resolved. Men, men, you are problem solvers. Women, we know how to solve problems. But wait a minute, I just want to say something to men for a second. We need you guys to really get a grip of this and understand this. And I'm saying this because most of the people that I see that are active in the pole shift area is primarily women. So men, we really need to use that beautiful intellect you have and to turn it into wisdom. Because right now, just knowledge itself is not going to help. Is finding the wisdom in it to go a step further and go, okay, what are the consequences or possible consequences that can happen if we don't do something? So men, we really need you. We need you to help with protecting the survival groups. We need you to show that warrior that you are. We really need you. Women, we need to allow these men to do this. If
Mm-hmm.
they feel that they are going to take charge of protecting the perimeters and doing the manly things that they do, we need to step aside and let them be the men that they are. Okay. I never looked at myself as an elder, but when I look at my age, I guess I am. But I cannot be an elder unless someone tells me I am. I've only had one person tell me that. So I just want to say, guys, it's time for us to get in our position, reach in our DNA, and get the things that we need for this. Our people had a lot of challenges, and that blood runs through your veins right now as I speak. The electricity should charge in your body and go, okay, I think my ancestors are waking up in me right now, and take action. That's all I have to say.
Yes. Yes, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. Um, well, hey, now you said that's all you have to say. Is that on that subject or everything that
Yes,
you?
on that subject, yeah.
Okay.
As far as the community stuff, people just need to, I'll say it this way. This week, we're talking to you, we're bringing everything up to you as far as everybody needs to form a community. We'll work real hard the next time we have this show to have it where it's live. I'd like to have people in the group and tell me how are they forming it. If we can, if Empress knows a lot of people, she may be able to bring a guest in on community that has done it. Maybe we'll ask them, or we'll do what we can.
Mm-hmm.
You guys need or come join the groups, join the shift group. Let's talk. Let's talk.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We're offering this to you, and very few of you are coming to take advantage of it.
That's right.
We don't have to do this. We want to do this from our heart because I don't see anybody else in our community that's doing this unless it's people that are forming groups and have actually done it. Okay. But as far as someone going, hey guys, you need to get a group. Hey, you need a group for the pole shift. No, I don't see anybody doing that. Do you, Empress? Have you seen that
Mm-mm.
anywhere?
You got
So
that right.
Empress has provided this platform for people to come together, like minds, for survival purposes. I don't know that many people that are doing that right about now. I really don't. I don't know why the churches aren't doing it. Churches should be, if you know a reverend or preacher that's really a down to earth person, let them hear this video. because a church already has a community. They already have a community. This is the one way that, and for you preachers or ministers that's listening to me, this is one way you can give back to your people, because I don't see y'all anywhere. This is one way you can give back to your people. Help them form a survival community where they can live. You took the cloth. You said you were there for your people. And if you are, I guarantee we'll start hearing about all of you wonderful preachers out there that believed enough to take care of your people, your flock. Take care of your flock. Because they need you right now. You already have a group of people that have been depending on you probably for decades, probably for different generations. So if you're available to your people still, because some of the places aren't having church, it would be really a beautiful thing that you can go out down in history, that you cared enough about your people to start buying land, because I know they gave you a lot of money throughout the years. Help these people get on the land to take care of themselves. That would be so honorable for you guys as someone that has preached to these people and took tithes and all of that for many decades. I mean, it would just be absolutely admirable. Or don't. Because you know what? Some of your people might be listening to this video right now. They're going to form their committees and everything, and they're going to get their land without you.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm asking you first, why don't you make the first move and let some of them know that you're there for them too? I mean, isn't that what you've always told them? You're there
Yep.
for them?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they need you now. They need you now. And I really hope that some of you would do this. I know that Darby would have done it. If Darby had been still alive, that man would have done it. Darby was one of the only ministers that I ever heard talk about. Have you heard of Darby Ministries?
Yeah, I have.
Darby is the only person that I've ever listened to that dealt with real life situations, but also kept within his theme of being who he was as far as being a minister. But he actually talked about real life things and tried to educate his congregation. He did not flower anything, and he was one of the most unbelievable people in the faith that I have ever seen. Because I'm actually speechless because I've never seen anybody that was like him. Empress. The Darby Ministries talks about a lot of the things that are going on today, and we believe that he was removed. But his wife kept his ministries going. She's the channel is still going on YouTube right now. Yeah, but I really don't. Like I said, I really don't have too much more to say for about this topic this week. I think
Okay.
we'll probably might want to have like a little segment about it, along with the safe locations and stuff like that. But as you can see on the screen, everyone, before we close out, 4 minutes, 8 minutes, 9 minutes, 19 minutes, y'all. This is really something's going on, and I really, my heart energy wants to go out to each and every one of you, and I really um, would like to see that you guys take this serious, and at least if you can talk to somebody about it in your circle, make sure you start having those serious conversations. If someone feels that you don't know what you're talking about, you'll have a decision that you need to make for yourself. This is what shadow work is about. It's also about getting bravery. Are you going to you're gonna have either way, you're gonna have to make a decision. Are you going to take the kids out and be able to try to survive this? Or are you gonna stay where you are because no one believes you? But then you have to ask yourself those questions like we did the shadow work segment. Why don't they believe me? What is it about them that they can't believe me? That does need to be visited. There's an answer there somewhere. Even if I'm not asking the right question, only the person that's involved can really ask those questions as far as why aren't people believing me? But you got to remember also, there are a lot of young souls on this planet. You may be an older soul than that person as well. There's spiritual reasons also. But either way, just remember that come on and join our group, be around like minds, find out more information, ask those questions that you need to know. Empress Shaddai has a spiritual side to assist you with this journey. She has some programs and classes and everything set up for you. So you would have that spiritual support there. The room can go from pole shift to spiritual in a heartbeat. I have a bipolar personality between spirituality and safe zones, safe locations. So I can switch at any moment. So just come on out and be around people that care about people surviving. And that's what this whole show is about.
That is
That's
right. That's right. Well, I thank you again, Empress Phoenix, for coming on, trying to at least bring clarity of the current situation that we are in, because it seems like people are not getting a real clear understanding right now of the current situation that we are in. So, guys, if you have any questions about what has been said tonight or in the previous videos, and I would suggest this is just a suggestion is to go back and look at the previous videos because a lot was discussed. If you have not, we did go over some locations, safe locations, and so forth. I'm saying this because um, sometimes people uh, don't know that we've already may have discussed their area and they
right.
may be bringing it back up again, but it's fine if you're part of the shift group and you just want to, ask a question. Empress Phoenix Star doesn't, mind,
No,
going over that information. We enjoy the communication with people is when people are quiet and not saying anything. We really don't know what's going on. I'm like, do you guys really grasp what's happening? Are you paying attention to the information? Do you appreciate the information that is coming your way? We
somebody
don't
told
know.
you. Someone told me thank you for all this stuff. Oh my God, I actually got to thank you. I couldn't believe it. I actually got to thank you for all the stuff that we do with the video and also with the stuff that we put in the room. I actually got to thank you. Today was the first time on the level that they did. I really did.
Mm,
It made my day. I was like, God, thank God. Somebody actually appreciates it. So
mm-hmm.
it really feel good that someone actually said that. And a couple of people have said thank you for some of the things we dropped in the room. But this other person said it on the big level. And I was like, wow, thank you. That made me feel really good. So guys, yeah, we do want to feel appreciated. I mean, but the thing is whether I feel appreciated or not, I'm on a mission to do this. My purpose in life right now, as far as helping the world and community, is this. So I don't need to thank you just to keep going, but it sure is nice to hear it.
Yes, it is, and that's why I tried to say it even myself, to Empress, and I'm trying to say it so you guys hear me say it, because I want you guys to hear, two sisters. You know how people feel like, we fight with each other. We don't know how to unite. We don't know how to say thank you. We don't know how to say sorry. It's
Yeah,
okay, guys. It's okay to say thank you. It's okay to say sorry. You're not less than. It doesn't make you inferior to someone else. So, yes, I thank Empress Phoenix Star for coming on and doing the work she does from the bottom of my heart, because I know she is passionate about it and she's doing it from the bottom of her heart. So we're operating on that heart chakra right
And thank
now.
you so much for having me and for trusting me and having me each week. Because like we always said, the first week I was so shaky, I didn't know what to do. And I mean, I said everything, but we've grown so much spiritually on this segment that we do together. It's a beautiful thing, and I just want people to know that this is actually, like she said, it's a spiritual experience to do this show. We flip, we have that bipolar thing going on. We can go from spirituality to safe locations to earthquakes. We can flip flop, but we always love to be in the spiritual part of it because her and I both are very spiritual people.
That's right. That's right. I think, you know what? I mean, we can, unless you have anything else, we can kind of end it on this note, because I love to when we talk about the things that we talk about, to end it on the positive kick. You know what I mean? Like you
Absolutely,
can't, when you
absolutely.
want to go out, you want to go out with a bang. So, when we're talking about something, and I really felt that the good vibe going on what we just talked about. So I
Yes,
think this is
it's
perfect
perfect.
time.
It's perfect.
Yeah. It's a perfect time to end it. And then Empress, me and you going to talk about some other things too, because guys, we're getting real serious about this nation building and community, and for all the people that are stepping up, so we can actually get that group, like you're saying, together and making moves, start taking that action. So there is some people. So once we get off of this, we'll move forward. But I just want to let you guys know this is definitely not talking. There's many groups, they've been separate, and we're going to see on what we can do to bring everybody together, and just bring great minds and that think alike together, so we can all build together.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it's about. Okay, well, again, thank you guys. Thank you so much, Empress Phoenix Star. Thank you guys, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you guys for just joining all the groups and being a part of the shift, loving the shows. I definitely get thank yous all the time from you guys. And I look and read every single one of emails and all of that stuff. And I do tell Empress Phoenix Star
Yes.
everything that you guys say. And if you guys want to leave a comment, direct to her, or go to Telegram, speak to her directly through her DM, let alone through the shift, and talk to her. You can do that also. So you guys have access to both of us at
Mhm.
all times. So
Yes.
there's no reason for you guys not to take action, or not to ask questions, because we are definitely here of you and doing service for others. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you guys tune in often. And we're just going to end it right here. Peace and love, guys. Peace and love, everybody.
Love.